All right, guys, welcome back to the Figuring Out podcast on Fridays. We're back. Michael's back,
Hey guys, miss me?
and we're ready to get back into it for you guys. Just a little recap. The first time we talked about sedentary lifestyles, the risks and the benefits for it. Excuse me, the risks for it and why you should stay away from it. And then we kind of moved into talking about exercise and our history with sports. And then last time we were talking about more of the benefits for sun exposure as well as doing your physical activity outside. And what we want to do today is we're proposing a challenge for everyone. We have not developed it yet, but we're going to be coming out in some of the next episodes of challenges for not only ourselves, but you guys as the audience as well to participate in. These challenges are going to entail changing your diet, making changes to your exercise, and really making change to your life in general. Um, you guys have anything to add about it as far as what we can see? Because we're gonna do a variety of them. For example, we could try keto diets, the epi paleo, such as from Jack Cruz's book, where he talks about the epi paleo diet. We're just going to be trying out a bunch of different challenges, and we're going to see how we feel. And then we're also going to be coming up with a protocol that you guys can follow. And so you guys can test it out for yourselves and see if any changes brought about, whether you're feeling much better, you're more energized, you get more done throughout the day, whatever it is, whatever we can give you to make you feel that change. And this protocol is going to be developed over the next few weeks, and then we're going to be bringing it out to you guys. Maybe in the end, we'll see how the results are, not only for us, but you guys as well. And who knows? Maybe the one with the craziest transformation can get a free session at Healing Away for any of the services that we offer, or something like that. But we'll keep you guys posted, and this is something that's going to be coming out in in the coming weeks. And yeah,
I have a question. So, like, even though this is in the works, what exactly is like the epipaleo diet?
so I'm still working on reading through Jack Cruz's book on the scheduling and timing of your meals, um, the components of the meals, what to eat, what to focus on hitting for eating for the day. I haven't gotten fully into the book yet, but like I said, once we develop the protocol and we design our own challenges and challenges for you, we'll have a I'll have a better idea so we can document our progress and uh, our experiences, and then we can share them to you for how we felt after and before, and anything we thought could really be like key takeaways.
Okay.
Yeah. Any any challenges you think you're gonna want to do, Alex? Like the keto. What do you think you're gonna choose? We're all just letting you know. We all might choose different challenges, but at the end, we'll document the progress of Michael's experience, Alex's experience, and as well as my own. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely do a before and after pic. I think that would be unbelievable, not just for yourself, but for the viewers, because there's going to be details you won't even see that other people might pick up on. But for me, uh, I'm a, I've usually had one diet like plan that worked for me, but I'm gonna switch it up this time. I'm gonna go from instead of one big um, like meal I usually eat at around 2 or 3 p.m. and I burn it off laterwards, like through cardio, treadmill, uh, cardio bike, whatever. I'm gonna switch to my diet to more balanced meals, kind of like my favorite person, Ronaldo, does.
Uh, is it strictly just because Ronaldo? Because what's wrong with what you had before? I feel like it was easier to keep track too.
I think not that I want to. Well, obviously, I do want to try something new
Okay.
because it's like working out.
Yeah.
You find
Same.
some different exercise that trains your that muscle group in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to try it out, right? Because if you do the same thing over and over, it gets
Because
a little repetitive and
yeah.
boring.
Yeah, and I think if we show the benefits of, or the specific benefits of what happened through whatever structured plan we followed, we can kind of tailor and pick out like the parts that worked and bring them forward instead of having everyone go through the full thing. We can then analyze and pick out those specific little keys or details that made the difference for us.
No, no, definitely. And switching it up in diet, whatever way it is, uh, I think it's like a healthy thing, to do, and it only supports. I think we have to emphasize as well in this session, like the importance of a diet. And the cornerstone of any lifestyle is what you put in and out of your body.
Yeah, exactly. And that's gonna be our main focus for today. We're gonna talk about diet, what we eat, why we eat this way, how we prepare our meals, and so forth. But we just want to let you guys know about that upcoming challenge that we're gonna be developing over the next coming weeks. We'll let you guys know more about it, and yeah. So let's continue with this talk about diet. So. Who would like to go
Just,
first? I guess. And
I mean, just starting off, I feel like it's gonna be. I'm excited for this, like because summer's coming up. I feel like it's a lot easier as well, just to do this. Just like at home because I feel like at school in a different place, it's harder to like, just get things done.
Mhm.
So when you're at home, you're like more. It's like easier to grab ingredients or
you're in control because at school you're
there's other
limited.
factors. You're looking at other people or like maybe if you're on like the school meal plan stuff like that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get to choose what you actually specifically want to eat instead
Mhm.
of having to pick from a limited
Limited
selection,
yeah.
like we all have had before at our university.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll start off. So what I eat in a day-to-day basis, these guys all know very well.
Mhm.
I love my steak. I love my red meat. Um, it's one of the biggest sources of protein that I consume throughout the day. Um, and I just feel like my recovery is super optimized. I usually train pretty hard in the gyms, and whenever I'm eating red meat and steak as compared to not eating enough protein or eating other sources, even chicken, I've even noticed that like significant differences between my energy levels of eating steak versus something like chicken. And I've looked into it more. Luckily, since I like steak, the health benefits also lined up with it pretty much too. There's a lot of nutrient. Steak is a nutrient dense food. It's pretty much considered a superfood. Um, Many people have their concerns as far as cardiovascular health and steak, but I'm not sure all the science behind it. But all I know is that red meat is a superfood, and I feel great when I eat it, and I feel much more recovered than not. So, um, yeah, for me, that's the one staple food. I'll usually pair it with a carb. My carb of preference is rice. I'm gonna try to experiment with sweet potato because that's another nutrient dense food that um, has also like I've come to my attention and I've seen a lot of people implementing it. So maybe I might swap those choices out, but regularly for my meals, it's a protein, preferably steak, and then I'll also have a rice and then sometimes a vegetable. But usually that's what my meals consist of. And you guys want to go
And
next?
I feel like that's really important too because even in the gym, you might see kids like asking you, "Oh, what protein powder should I get?" Just other supplementation. But really, it's more important what you're getting from food, not like eat just like whey protein or stuff like that in general. It's the nutrient pack part. That's what's really
Yeah,
important.
cause so what people really separate it into is I think the main components of that everyone should be thinking in the back of their head when they're going throughout the day and when
Yeah.
they're selecting their meals, they should be thinking about how much protein they're getting in each meal. I think they should also be not too specific on, but also just being mindful of the macronutrients, which is the ratio of carbs, fats, and protein. And one of the most important things that I've now been becoming more aware of and implementing is micronutrient intake. And the way you go about that is packing in super nutrient dense foods, like I said, such as your red meat, your sweet potato, olive oil. Fish is another big component, and it's also a part of the epipaleo diet. So I'll get to experiment more with fish. But those things are the key factors I think everyone should take into account when they're choosing their meals, when they're selecting their nutrition. But yeah,
Yeah.
Alex, I'm curious as what you eat on a day to day basis.
So that answer really does vary. Um, I do have my cravings. They're not the best choice, and I'm trying to fix those right now.
I'm
And
with you, man. Don't worry.
yeah, I would say same boat, but maybe yours is a little bit bigger.
Okay.
But I like to get my protein in there. I like to get my carbs in there. I think healthy fats, and I think some foods are just essential. You have to keep in your diet of your intake, like including probiotics, electrolytes, and whole foods. Those are, I think, the big three you have to incorporate in your diet every day.
Yeah, I agree. Whole foods is
Yeah.
another thing that I always stress in my diet, and I usually don't cook with foods that are like multi ingredient or super heavily processed.
Yeah. But I have a question for you too. So, or and me as well. But I'll answer that. If somebody is starting out, right, trying to start that healthier lifestyle, and like we established, the diet is one of those key cornerstones to starting that and implementing that. What do you think is that first stage, like a basic knowledge of, you know, starting like a healthy lifestyle with the diet? Like what's that step one or in step two, step three? It's a hard question, but it's like with somebody with zero prior knowledge, like what would you tell them?
Michael, you want to take this or?
Can you grab me first?
I would say cooking.
Yeah.
I would say learning how to cook, really learning how to create delicious meals. Because if what you're eating
If you
tastes like
enjoyed-
dog food,
yeah.
you're not gonna want to keep eating it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing for me that took me uh, to have more control of my own diet, because some people don't even have control of their own diet because their only access to food is the food that their mom makes or the food that someone else makes for them. So by you learning how to cook, now you just open the door to accessing all these different meals. Um, I learned how to cook when I was young. I encourage everyone, no matter their age, as long as their parents allow them to get in the kitchen, uh, I recommend that they start cooking right away and start experimenting with how to make food taste good and how to prepare meals that you like. Because at the end of the day, what does it matter? What does a diet matter if it's not sustainable?
And was it like hard for you? Because from my experience, my mom never let me into the kitchen. So
Yeah, so
I had to, the food is really good and like I'm able to follow my culture, but at sometimes you want to break free from that. So do you have any advice for, I guess, even for like my young self or the audience, like how did you get to that stage where you're able to cook for yourself?
I was I was the opposite. So the way it happened is my mom is Indian, and in the Indian culture, they don't really consume a lot of meat.
Mhm.
It's mainly a vegetarian diet, and I love eating meat. Uh, pause. Uh, I enjoy eating it. So the only way I could make it the best way for myself, because my mom only has the most experience cooking vegetables
Mhm.
and meals like that.
Yeah.
I had to take it in my own hands to cook it the way I want it. I wouldn't say that I'm not gonna throw her under the bus and say I didn't dislike her meals, but I I just wanted to find new ways to cook, and I was seeing all of these BuzzFeed videos, all these
Mm.
delicious looking meals online, and I was like, why don't I give that a try? And
Yeah.
luckily enough, she was very supportive of that. She taught me all the basic uh, utensils, how to turn on the stove and everything like that.
Yeah.
And pretty much through repetition, uh, YouTube cooking channels and a variety of trial and error, I was able to uh, learn how to cook.
Okay.
And the skills that I acquired cooking the various meats and other dishes, uh, it's made it easier for me to execute recipes. So,
Okay.
say a beginner who's never cooked before, they'll probably have a much harder time than me because they don't know how to manage
Hmm.
uh, heat and temperature control, and just basic cooking skills like that.
Okay. And like what do you typically use, like maybe oil wise,
Yeah,
stuff like
so
that's
that's a good
yeah,
topic
yeah.
actually. Uh, Seed oils. I'm sure you guys can go online and read a bunch of the negative effects of that, but we want to stay away from seed oils. And the main oils that I use that are not seed oils, which taste amazing and taste so much better than any of the other seed oil options, is mainly avocado oil
Hmm.
and olive oil. I use
You ever tried coconut oil?
coconut oil. I find has that
I know.
that
I don't
coconut
like the
taste to
taste
it.
either.
So
Yeah.
I usually don't prefer it when I'm cooking savory foods.
Yeah.
So I'll stick to the olive oil and the avocado oil.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think uh, th- so. To go back to Alex's like original question, cooking I think is the first step because it gives you the access key to everything.
Okay.
Because if you don't have the access key, you're only gonna eat what you're given. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But let's go back to that question. So we established cooking is obviously an essential part of starting that lifestyle. But let's even backtrack a little bit more. Let's say somebody who is starting to cook, right? To get the ingredients, you go into the store.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say they should get versus not get? What they should look for?
Like we said before, like you said before, Whole Foods.
Yeah, but then you have to look right at
Yeah.
what you're buying because there's so like you can look at the produce, you could look at the meats, you could look at the carbohydrates, and look at the different like what they're offering you because they're offering you more than just one like company right at whatever store you
Yeah,
get.
for the product.
Yeah, for the product, and each one has a different quality, and then that's when you because that's when I think all three of us know because we're uh educated in this field that you should look at what you're putting in and reading those ingredient labels.
Yeah, checking
Mhm.
ingredient labels.
Because
Yep.
it makes a big difference what you put in and out of your body. Because the labels in the grocery stores can be really deceiving. They're not going to say this is bad for you. They're going to they're going to say, oh, this is. They're not going to tell you this is non-GMO verified.
Yeah, so you gotta keep out for those organic labels. Make sure you're getting those non-genetically modified foods. Of course, ingredient labels to look is great to look at, and I would also say it's you don't people think they look silly by reading the ingredient labels back and forth. I know sometimes I've been shopping with other people, they just grab the first thing that they see. But I think it's actually really important sometimes, and even the first time you go really grocery shopping on your own, when you're getting your grocery items just for the week, of
Mhm.
course you all have your standard items that everyone gets. People walk into the grocery store, oh, I'm gonna get this fruit, this meat, this carb, just just to prepare for the week, right? I think that the next time anyone steps into the grocery store, they should really check all the products that they're buying, and they should try to get the highest quality product that is available for that specific product.
So would you say, like, instead of, because you would have to spend like a lot of time researching and looking into the actual food and ingredients, but it's best to kind of like invest that time in first, and then afterwards you have your list
Yeah,
and
because then
you immediately run in and grab the
it's
things off
just
the
the
shelf.
first time you have
Yeah.
to put in all that work to really check the labels, really look up what's happening.
Oh, what you got there?
Oh yeah. So just for you guys, we're gonna just show you these things you would find in a regular store, right? And whilst a hot Italian sausage like this might look mad good, um, compared to 100% grass-fed ground beef, it's really on the labels where you can see, and you can look on the back too, but they're not going to tell you um, what's good or what's bad for you, right? The good ones are gonna show you, like this one with 100% grass-fed beef. It's gonna tell you that beef raised with no antibiotics ever, no added hormones, free range, and look, it tells you even 90% lean, 10% fat, and then you compare it to this one.
Of course, this is sausage, but
It's a
Yeah,
sauce, of
yeah.
course, but we're taking into consideration. They're just showing you the package. They're showing you how good it looks, and then they're going to tell you all natural, minimally processed, and no artificial ingredients. See, that doesn't tell us what we need to know, right? And it's what you put into your body. And then on the back, there's not much either to offer. And then you could see even this one over here. It's like you guys should try it out, or what you guys buy at the grocery store. And the ingredients they'll show you. And this one right here, Chinese style sausage. I don't even know this, but then I'm looking at the ingredients. They have stuff like sodium nitrate.
Nitrate's the key thing here.
Yeah,
in
and
sausages.
that's stuff that that should not be going into your body.
yeah. I think if you don't know what an ingredient entails or what a specific compound such as sodium nitrate or something like that means or what it does to your body, don't be afraid to whip out your phone and just look it up. Even if you have to go down that entire ingredient list, I don't think it doesn't hurt at all. You might be just taking up extra time during that first initial trip to the grocery store, but in the end, the benefits and that you're gonna have later compared to before is just gonna be night and day. You really want to know exactly what's going into your body. It it's really like an example. Why would you put something in your body that is a mystery? Do you want to eat the mystery food or you want to eat the food that you know exactly what's in there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like I have another example. It shows I got the wrong sauce. But a regular soy sauce bottle versus an organic premium soy sauce bottle. And you might be like, "Oh, okay, let me look at the calories. Is there that much of a difference?" No. But then you look at the ingredients and it really makes a whole lot of difference because you see the difference in the ingredients.
And would you say the number of ingredients also plays a factor? Would you try to stay away from foods and items with an exhaustive list of ingredients?
I think yes. The shorter it is, like the more kind of pure, like quality type of thing you have.
Yeah, sticking to the
exactly,
concept of whole
yeah.
foods, low amounts of ingredients, and just having the most purest form of whatever you're eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really shows like although you might think like at the grocery store it doesn't make a big difference, between a $5 or $7 soy sauce bottle.
Yeah. This is very important for
But,
me.
like-
Soy sauce is a key thing in the Asian household.
Yeah, yeah. And look, this is just basics, a soy sauce alternative. And in the long run, right, you'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna have this, it's not gonna affect me. But then you do 30, 40 years down the line, your body, you want the best for your body, right?
Yeah.
So you can live like the healthiest lifestyle that you can.
Yeah, and also I think another key part of the nutrition label, besides just the ingredients, I would say is also calorie count as well.
Mhm.
I think people think it's bad to restrict yourself in certain ways or opt for options that are lower calorie, but I think in the end, the you can eat more volume of food when you're consuming foods that are of lower calorie density. So you can enjoy a higher volume of food uh, with a lower calorie count. And I think when people don't take into account the calories that they're consuming, they tend to overeat. And I don't think it's something that should be constantly running through your mind of how many calories you're at per day.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that you should once in a while be conscious of and be like, hey, look, I ate this, and this today. How many calories really was that? And then you should go look into how many calories you should be burning per your height and weight. And then you compare those two values to see if you're in a surplus, at maintenance, or at a deficit. And that kind of tells a lot because overeating is a huge problem nowadays. And I hate to say it, but people are only getting bigger. And that's just creating more and more health issues for everyone around.
Yeah, I think calories is a giant part to play. And of course, if you're starting at the beginning of your healthier lifestyle, you don't want to jump the gun straight away because then you're setting yourself up for failure. You want to do a gradual, um, because you're changing your life, right? Your body's not going to be used to a transition that quick.
Yeah.
And you with that transition, you have to take consider your body's going to be under stress because you're transitioning from your old habits to new and better ones. And with this, your body's going to thank you, but it needs time to readjust. So, just like you said, keeping track of those calories, what goes in and out of your body, and then translating that to physical exercise. So let's say you might have messed up and had a lot of fries, right? Well, you got to estimate how many calories, were in those fries. And if you know the perfect amount, that's even better.
But you can never. That's the thing. You
That
can't really
you
ever
never
know.
know
Yeah.
because you weren't there. That's the whole thing of the cooking.
You
You
know
actually
exactly.
you can actually calculate like that perfect amount.
Yeah.
But for people starting off and everyone has those cheat days and those cravings. You have to be accountable for yourself and go and burn it because if you're keeping that inside of you, it's not.
It's
gonna
only
help you.
adding more pounds of fat.
Yeah,
and
more
compounded over how many days, months, years.
Yeah,
It's just gonna add up.
and if you forget about it, it's just gonna hurt you in the long run. So, I think for someone starting out, I wouldn't even count the calories they're consuming like the whole day. I would just count the calories that they know that's not good for them.
Mhm.
Because I think cutting everything out straight away can be it's like it could be like a drug,
It's like a crash diet.
Yeah. It's like withdrawal. If you just take out all sugar, the only thing going to be in your mind is, oh, I need sugar, I need sugar, I
Yeah.
need sugar. Whilst instead, you should find alternatives. So, like, I can tell you, I had a crazy sugar tooth. No, sweet tooth. Sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. I had a crazy sweet tooth as a kid, and chocolates were like my thing. I could eat like a whole box of chocolates. Birthday cakes, that was my thing.
Same here. Same here.
Yeah, everyone's having one slice of cake for the birthday. I'm there for seconds, thirds, and fourths.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, red velvet cake. Don't show me that. It's gonna be gone. But yeah,
Something gradual.
I was chasing that sugar rush, right?
Mhm.
And then you realize that sugar rush there's alternatives, like I just showed you with the soy sauce bottles, with fruits, like bananas. Bananas contain
Nature's candy.
yeah, nature's candy, and if you eat a banana, you won't feel that much of a sugar rush. It's just about you replacing the food you're eating with better options. And that's like step one. I feel like really elementary steps into improving your lifestyle before you can take even, all these diets we were talking about earlier, like keto diet and all that. Because I feel like with keto diet and all that, those are a little bit more advanced, don't you think?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
And I think sugar wise, I also struggled with a sweet tooth as well. But the beautiful thing I actually noticed is that once I gradually was able to uh, lower down and eliminate sugar from my diet, I started enjoying fruit more. I don't know the complete science behind it, but I think your taste receptors are kind of fried when you're eating all that sugar, all that processed sugar every day. And as I started to eliminate that from my diet and eat bananas and apples or whatever fruit, they would taste so delicious to me. Tastes like heaven.
Yeah.
As compared to when I was eating the sugar, it just tasted like another fruit. It still tasted great because I do enjoy fruit, but it tasted that much better when I was off of it. And then one thing I did notice, which was crazy, was me going back to the processed sugar products such as Coke products. I liked my Coca Cola a
yeah.
lot. Yeah, so I could taste the syrup in there. I could taste that artificial flavor. I don't know how to describe that. I don't know how to describe the taste I had, but it was just a sense of artificialness and fakeness. And I think really taking the sugar out of my diet helped a lot with my energy levels as well. We got some questions for the chat. Oh, we got the biggest donation so far. We got $50 from MP4 Change. So let's give a round of
Thank you
applause.
guys.
She said, "Love the challenge, guys, and want to participate when you are ready. Will I experience health benefits? I want to be healthier." My answer, short and sweet, yes, you will notice change. Um, the challenges that we're developing are catered towards getting you healthier, getting you more active, and making you feel better in your own body. And what we really want to do is test all of these different diet approaches and exercise approaches as well, just to see what works and what's the best aspects from each of these different disciplines, so we can show you uh, our key takeaways from all of them. And yeah, I'm really excited for the challenge part of this. But yeah, we also have some more questions in the chat. Um, the first one is what can you guys do even now to help improve your diets going into the summer? So summer's right around the corner. Some people could say it started right now. What do you think is some simple things to just start to um, move forward to a healthier diet?
One thing for me, I think is like gut health. So, uh, I heard you go on vacation this summer, and I am too. I'm going to Vietnam, and one thing over there is there's crazy, crazy street food. Not just because it's good, but it's very cheap. Like the U.S. dollar is just way better over there. So I think I'll find myself eating eating a lot there, but also trying to back off. But even before that, I think I'm just gonna load up on like a lot of yogurt just for the good microbiome
Yeah,
in your
because you
stomach.
want to make sure you're not like when you're digesting that you're also getting the nutrients out from your food sources. Because if you have uh, a dysfunctioning gut microbiome, which a lot of people don't know they have. And
Yeah.
remember that book I read called Super Gut? I
Yeah, yeah.
learned so much about gut microbiome, gut dysbiosis, and people don't really know how much they've screwed up their gut and
Mm.
their microbiome. And there's all of these uh, bacterial colonies that some people have depleted or they've allowed the wrong ones to grow and they don't even realize it. So uh, that book is by Dr. William Davis, and he has a 4 week plan of getting back your gut microbiome healthy. And I think that's another challenge that we can also try out. I definitely want to test out his protocol. He has a yogurt called SIBO yogurt. I don't remember what it stands for, but it's the specific yogurt with uh, specific culture of bacterium to repopulate your the correct bacteria in your gut microbiome. So hopefully, maybe I can put you on to the
The
yogurt before you go.
SIBO? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think also talk about street food. The source from where your food comes also matters a lot as well.
Yeah, that's a big factor. I think I'll be focusing on more touristy areas because there's food that tourists versus the actual locals are like able to eat because you might find places where the food is like not made how you're usually like able to eat them, you know?
Hmm.
So just by picking out those spots, it's like a and same with ice. Ice is a big thing too
Yeah.
because just like you never know what bacteria, virus, parasite might be in the water. Good indicators are like the cloudiness, but just staying in like touristy spots for me is like a big thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing to keep in
Yeah.
mind when we're
Yeah.
on vacation.
Yeah.
But going back to that question, what can you guys do even now to help improve your diets? Just going into the summer, I think starting small, um, jumping into something head first is not always the best approach.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sometimes people can stick to it, but a lot of times they end up failing and trying to fit or cater to something that was not sustainable for them in the first place. So I would say the first step I think would be great is reducing the sugar intake actually, and trying to replace alternatives. I think alternatives is the key word. Finding better alternatives, and the you can kind of go up the ladder with this, but certain alternatives are a little bit better. Then you'll have more, even better ones, and eventually you'll get to the healthiest one. So I think kind of progressing towards those healthier alternatives is a good start to go. Um, for example, instead of eating candy, eat some watermelon or make blend some watermelon, freeze it up, and then you'll have water ice or
Mm.
yeah, watermelon water ice. That was one of my go tos for the summer. But yeah, I think just the gradual steps is the key to starting in the summer. And people think that they have to start crash diets since summer's right around the corner, but I think that has more negative effects than positive.
Yeah, I think something I always lift off of is you can't outrun a bad diet.
Yeah.
No matter how much exercise you use, and you can see this with athletes, their diet is clean, like super strict.
Yeah, they
They're
have all the
really,
highest nutritionists, all the specialists.
yeah, and they're staying strict to that. I know professional soccer players, they're just not allowed to have chocolate, and that's like a sacrifice for some people that some people that can't live without chocolate. They just don't go pro because that's like something they can't live without. They eat very lean uh, meals. They don't even eat like, I know you're a big fan of steak, but like for a
Hmm.
lot of like professional soccer players, they only can eat chicken breast.
Yeah,
That's what they eat because it's the leanest source of protein,
yeah.
even leaner than steak. And then for some people, they can't make that sacrifice. But I think at the end of the day, it's like,
And
do
by
you,
the way, I think that is a poor choice on the nutritionist side.
uh,
Just as far as superfoods and micronutrient density, as far as meat
well,
goes.
yeah,
But that's my personal.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, like, I think they're a lot faster than us, but then you might be a lot stronger than them.
yeah.
Because look, they're just made for agility and speed and endurance
Hmm.
on the pitch. But I think it's all about sacrifice. At the end of the day, your goal, whatever transformation, physique you want and desire, will your sacrifices match with that so you can reach that goal? If you don't, if you're not gonna make sacrifices, you're not gonna reach the goal. And it's the same thing. What I was saying, you can't outrun a bad diet. You can run all you want. You can do as much exercise as you want. But if you're gonna go back to those poor choices of going fast food chains, processed food, you're never gonna reach where you want to be.
Yeah, and I think that kind of leads into this next question that we have here, which is it okay, once in a while to have that cookie or to have that chocolate or to have that thing once in a while? Is it okay in moderation? Um, let's say, let's just go off that. Is it okay once in a while to eat the junk food?
Oh, of course. Like, even like the world's most successful like athletes models, they have those cheat days because that's just mandatory. Your body needs that little reset. Whatever it might be, reward, pleasure. But can you have that, and you have to be able to bounce back, and that's what we've talked about on the previous episodes about discipline.
Yeah, I think it's all about this one. You don't want to be robotic, but you still want to enjoy life and just the food, good stuff.
Enjoy what you're eating.
Yeah, but you have to enjoy that time you
Mhm.
had, whatever it might be, pizza, cookie. But then you have to be able, okay, I had this cheat day, but now I have to go back to my routine,
Hmm.
you know? And I think for people that say, like, there's some people that will say, like, no, 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 like, I will not go off my routine. And then you're going to be thinking about, I'm craving this, I'm craving this. And then you're going to binge one day.
Yeah,
And that's, again, what we're talking about. Don't go head first,
yeah.
You have to have that balance, which I feel like it is. Whatever it might be, if it's like, and that goes back to the meal plan we're talking about,
Mhm.
what you need, those probiotics, those whole foods, those electrolytes, and that you can find in watermelon, for example.
Mhm.
And yeah, maybe one day you switch watermelon with, some cake, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
Because of your birthday.
birthday comes around, right? You're not gonna go and eat chicken breast for your birthday, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna want treat yourself something nice.
Mhm.
hopefully for the all the hard work and effort you put in year round.
Yeah, and I also think one major thing about eating unhealthy is that food is a big part of culture. And when you go out to eat, you're whether you're consciously thinking about it or not, you're influenced by what other people are eating. So I think also an important thing is having the confidence to say no. I don't need to eat this right now. Just because the ice cream is there doesn't mean I gotta eat it. I can just look at it. Everyone else is enjoying it, but I it it doesn't work for me. I don't need it right now. I'm not craving it right now, and that's okay. They can enjoy their ice cream, and I can sit here and eat whatever I want. Because sometimes I have felt like that. I have felt that, oh, everyone else right here is eating ice cream. Uh, why not? Why don't I have a bite? But then I also think to myself, what am I gonna feel like tomorrow?
Yeah.
What am I gonna wake up and feel like? Is my face gonna be all bloated? Am I gonna uh, have bad stool when I go to the bathroom? What's gonna happen the
Yeah.
next day? So I think thinking about what's gonna happen the next day also helps you too.
Yeah, I think those cravings are one of the hardest things. When you see someone, one of your friends, presenting you with a cookie, do you have the power to say no? And then and for me, I think that's the hardest part about keeping a healthy lifestyle, which is diet,
Yeah.
because um, without that, you're always going to be chasing. Well, to burn those calories or whatever. So for me, I can tell you, um, if I don't, in my mind, I have to say, okay, this cookie is going to be there tomorrow. I can eat that cookie tomorrow, you know, and I don't have to eat it tonight. I can eat that tomorrow or the day after or something else. But right now, I'm happy with my physique and I don't want to ruin that. I'm on the road to improvement, the road to my own dream.
Mhm.
And why would I tarnish something with some temporary pleasure?
Yeah, delayed gratification. I
Yeah,
think is-
like I like to say, can't rush greatness.
Yep,
by
exactly.
Central Sebo.
Yeah, and that oh, we have another question actually. What's your opinion about creatine? And this is from Limbo 3.
I think
Creatine.
Michael's got some opinions on that.
Well,
Do you know too much? Have you taken creatine before?
yeah, I have in high school. Only problem was I just didn't stick with it through like the whole way because just in the beginning during the loading phase where some people, because you've always heard take 5 grams every day. There's also the loading phase where you take maybe 20 grams just because your body's not able to absorb, like it needs help absorbing the creatine. So I think I did that, but I was in high school and other students just kept telling me my head looks 5 times bigger. So I just stopped taking it.
Oh,
But
so
but there are like really good like
did you feel any noticeable effects or benefits?
it did, and I wish I went through with it because my lips were getting stronger, muscles. The whole thing with creatine is it just helps your muscles absorb the water. Yes, you're gonna get bloated, but over time
Because
it's
you're
gonna
carrying more water weight.
exactly.
So
So
you're not carrying more fat. It's just more water weight. And from what I've heard about creatine, it not only does it help with performance in the gym because uh, I think you're also more readily available, or your muscles are more readily
Mhm.
available to for ATP storage
Yeah.
or energy production, something along those lines. And then I've also seen cognitive benefits and helps with brain function as well.
Mhm.
And creatine is also found in things like red meat, so it's not something that's
only
like a
supplemented.
drug. It's a supplement to your body because what a supplement is something your body already has, but it's just you're not getting enough of it from
Yeah.
what you're eating, right?
Mhm.
So people opt for the supplements, which gives them those vitamins or nutrients that they're not getting from their food. And creatine is one of them.
Yeah,
And I think that's also why I'm just gonna stress again of really looking up what foods are considered superfoods and are nutrient dense because when you pick those nutrient dense foods, they have all of the necessary vitamins, minerals, trace elements that your body needs to function and operate on a day-to-day basis. And by eating everything, you don't have to rely on supplements to get in your nutrients from day to day.
yeah.
And then another question we have is what's your favorite substitution for an unhealthy snack? Um, I say let's split this up into savory snacks and sweet snacks. So which one do you guys want to start with first?
Which ones would you count as savory?
Savory, like such as chips,
Okay.
chips or things like that. I think sweet would be easier to start with. So
Okay.
I think we already said fruit
Fruits, yeah.
is one thing I love.
Oh.
What? Oh, go ahead.
For me, I think a big one would be honey because
Honey.
it's naturally made.
Do you enjoy honey? Because I'm the type
Oh,
of
you are?
person
You
that
don't
doesn't,
enjoy it?
doesn't really enjoy honey.
Yeah, I do enjoy
You
honey.
gotta be careful though, right? Which one's using, right?
Yeah.
Versus the raw, versus like some enhanced one.
Would you like to tell the audience the difference?
Oh well,
Are you familiar with that or? Because I'm
with,
not.
with the honey. I'm not the most of the expert, but
Mhm.
I can.
I think
say-
raw honey is the best one.
raw
Yeah.
honey. I think
That's
it's,
yeah. I just go by that. Yeah.
I know my grandma. She grows raw honey on her farm.
Like she has a bee.
Yeah, and my dad goes there every now and then, and he gets like a whole bucket of raw honey. Cause it's I think it's like what do we call it? What is it?
Superfood.
Superfood. Yeah. Whenever I had a fever, my dad would give me hot water with honey, with that raw honey,
Kind of like a tea.
kind of like a tea, but you're like rehydrating yourself when you're in a fever, cause
Yeah, because you're getting the energy back.
yeah,
And then
It's-
honey never goes bad. Also.
yeah.
something.
That's
Good
another
point, yeah.
benefit of it, and I would drink like probably like a liter of that, and I would feel fine. It's like I would feel fine after like 2 days doing that.
Mm.
That again, like a natural way of healing yourself.
And I've seen some people freeze honey as well, and then it makes that jelly. You guys probably seen on TikTok. I think I did it one time too. You squeeze the honey and it makes like a gelatinous texture. I don't know. It's just a way to switch things up and make
Yeah.
it
It's
more
play with
enjoyable.
texture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, as far as sweet snacks, I love ice cream.
Oh, I love ice
I
cream.
love ice cream so much. You can actually make your own ice cream that's high in protein. All you need is heavy cream. You preferably you want to get it from a place that's locally sourced, a locally sourced farm, where they're getting like raw cream, raw milk, and things like that, unpasteurized. But there's so many videos on YouTube of how you can actually make your own ice cream that is not only giving you healthy dairy options, but also is gonna provide you some protein. I've seen them use the cream or raw milk or whatever, and they'll find a whey isolate protein powder, and they'll put the whey isolate, which already has the flavorings that they
Yeah.
want. Say you want cookies and cream. I'm not sure what types of flavors. They have a bunch of flavors nowadays that
Yeah.
you can choose from, but using the protein scoop as your flavoring and additional protein, and then they'll mix it up, and then I think you can use you can buy an ice cream machine. I don't think it costs too much, and I've seen people make super healthy ice cream alternatives just from that, and it's all natural and it's made by yourself. So, like we said, you know what's going in there.
Exactly.
You know exactly what you're putting into the food that you're making.
Yeah, definitely. And then there's also like, let's say like they don't have the time to make an ice cream right of their own. You can go to the store and there's much less calorie options available, right?
Yeah, the Halo Top.
Halo
Top
Top,
is the
yeah.
one that I've been going to recently.
Would you say there's like that much of a difference in flavor and like taste?
No, I don't notice a whole lot of difference in flavor and taste. Of course, when you have those alternatives, they might come with artificial sweeteners and additives like that. So you have to be careful which ones you're picking. I was kind of lazy when I picked out the Halo Top. I just saw the calorie count and saw that it was 300 per the 1 pint compared to the 1,000, and it tastes the exact same for me. And although the nutrient intake from it is not probably the greatest, the calorie count is a huge benefit.
But that's like that.
And
first-
any
first
day of the
step.
week, I would rather someone eat the Halo Top than a regular pint of Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, and that's like that first step, right? Because someone can't go straight away to
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an
that
example of the
first, like
alternative.
that's like step, like you could say even step zero. You
Yeah.
know, going from something a
Because
lot, or
it tastes the
it tastes
exact same.
Yeah, and then like if eventually you build that habit up, you can move on to the next better habit,
Yeah.
making your own ice cream.
Mhm.
So you see, making those progressive steps, you're already helping yourself so much.
Yeah, and then it's just gonna lead you to
Yeah.
finding the better and the
Yeah.
better alternative.
And your
Yeah.
body's gonna thank you so much, like down the road, because you're just gonna feel better as a human being.
Yeah, exactly. And then let's see a couple other ones. For those of you with sweet tooth, I recommend freezing fruit, whatever you like, and then blending it. So then it's like a water ice, pretty much. I usually do it with watermelon because that's one of my favorite fruits. I consider that a S tier fruit.
That's
Um,
I see.
Yeah, but you can also do it with pineapple. I also enjoy frozen mango. I buy buying frozen fruit from the store is actually good as well because it's fresh because uh I mean although it's frozen, uh they it's frozen right when they get it. So it's not sitting in the packaging truck coming all the way over to the grocery store and
Yeah.
waiting that long. So it's getting frozen right when you get it. So you're getting technically fresh fresh produce.
In its
But then
original
now,
state.
yeah, and then you can blend it up, make some good water ice or what is it called, sorbet or whatever it is with that. Just with the fruit. And for summer, that was my main go to, and that gave me a lot of energy, a lot more energy than something processed.
Yeah, like eating ice cream, I feel super sleepy after eating like a whole whole or half a pint of it.
Yeah, and also the glucose spike is another
Yeah.
huge issue with sugar because you'll have the glucose spike, and then once it starts going down, you're just gonna have an energy crash just because of
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah, no, I really when I first changed my lifestyle and I stopped eating, like, those sugar dense foods, uh like, those hashtag um in quotation marks, uh those bad carbs like French
Mhm.
fries, chips, all that. You feel really lethargic after you eat those, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like you feel very unmotivated. You don't want to go and, exercise or study after you eat that.
Yeah.
Versus if you eat like a healthy, balanced food, even like with your steak and rice,
Hmm.
you don't feel lethargic. You could go and
No, I feel ready to go. I feel like I could do
you could do
anything,
anything.
and it makes a difference because I really encourage people to take the time to really commit to a certain diet and not just how they're feeling cravings wise, but how they're feeling energy wise. Because at the end of the day, whether you like, however you think about it, food is not some food is of course supposed to be something enjoyable, but um, the basic uh, the basic function of food is to fuel your body, right? And I think with the culture nowadays, they've uh, labeled food as more of a luxury and a comfort type of thing instead of something to fuel your body to get through the daily tasks of life, pretty much. So I think thinking about function rather than enjoyment is
Mhm.
also a big part of choosing your. Anything you wanted to add to that?
All right, you covered all that.
All right, we have another question. What exactly does your challenge consist of? Is there exercise involved? We have not fully developed our challenge. Each of ours is going to be different, but what do you guys think? Of course, we're gonna do diet already, but I think also having um, exercise regimens is also a good thing to add as well.
Yeah, I think obviously going progressive steps is the best way for someone who's starting out. So obviously summer is coming out. Everybody wants to, look the best, have the most striking appearance, on the beaches, wherever you may be or may find yourself this summer. And obviously we just talked about diet, but don't just overlook exercise in any sort of shape or manner because that's also not just but equally as important as diet as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
And someone who's just starting, even going on the treadmill and burning just 300 calories a day which is at the most 30 minutes if you really put your time and effort into it. And people are saying 30 minutes. Can I make the dedication? We all know we have 30 minutes in that time, but what else would you rather do in those 30 minutes of
Yeah,
time?
exactly.
30 minutes is not gonna hurt you,
Yeah.
And making those small steps, let's say you do 300 calories every day for a month. And a month from now, you take that after pick, you're gonna look completely different. Assuming, again, this is obviously you're following those diet plans. Um, and that just goes back to the challenge. It's like you're gonna, well, we all gonna have different ones, but we're gonna put some boundaries, right? That was somewhat similar for all three of us.
Yeah, I think we're gonna implement at minimum for both types of training. We're probably gonna have a cardio component, and then we're probably also gonna have a resistance training component.
Yeah.
For all of ours, it's gonna vary, but those are gonna be the two main components: strength based training and cardiovascular endurance.
Yeah. And both of them, would you say both of them are just as important, right?
Yeah, I would say both of them are just as important because cardiovascular health determines a lot of factors when it comes to the body. I've noticed increased amount of energy levels, and I think it's really beneficial not just for your heart but for your entire body, and it helps you burn more calories and keep your metabolism up as well. So I think cardio is cardio is a non-negotiable thing for me nowadays. Before I was into the bulking stuff, but I realized even when bulking, I think cardio still, even at moderate levels and not too intense, still provided a lot of benefit as to not doing it at all. And then as per strength training, like I said in the last episode, everyone needs the strength to do certain tasks and activities. And I think training for functional strength is the best way to go about it, just for general fitness folks. We're like we said, we're all gonna have our specific training regimens and structured programs that we're gonna follow. But you're gonna see the purpose of each one because each of our strength training components are gonna have a purpose, as well as our cardio vascular sections will also have varying importance as well.
Yeah.
And another question we have is, if you're planning to exercise within the next 1 to 2 hours and you are feeling low on energy, what should you eat or drink to fuel the workout? So I'm going to jump on this right away.
That's a good question.
I think you should
He has
eat.
like a very good routine.
Oh, my routine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that in 1 to 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours, I think is a little close to when you're working out. So I try to keep it kind of light in what I consume. I think consuming a lot of liquids, preferably electrolytes. There's a lot of good electrolyte powders out there. Make sure that they have the appropriate ratio of sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium, because some of the electrolyte powders out there, the ratio is not the optimal one, and you want to be putting the correct ratio of each of those components into your body. And then also, what I would recommend is having fast digesting carb. The fast digesting carbs that I would recommend is probably fruit. I like having bananas and things like that. You can look up the glycemic index online to see what type of carbohydrates are faster digesting than others. It'll show you at the one end of the spectrum pasta and things like that, which take around 3 hours or more, and then all the way down to foods and carbs that will digest very quickly within 30 minutes to an hour, such as bananas, like I said. So, fast digesting carbs and electrolytes are the two main things that I would suggest if you have a workout coming up really soon, and if you're really low on energy and you need something to get you going. Also, one more thing, I would recommend caffeine, but I only would recommend caffeine if your workout is going to be happening in the earlier hours of the day. I would try to limit caffeine intake uh, past 1 to 2 o'clock. Most people say 11 a.m., but I've noticed that I've really needed the boost at those later hours. Two to the range from anywhere in the morning until 2 o'clock still leaves you enough time to digest the caffeine and have it all uh, down before you're going to sleep because caffeine is gonna inhibit your sleep at the end of the day if you're consuming it too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, often find myself not being able to go to sleep, maybe even doing like karate for some reason in my room. I don't even know how to do karate. But that's why you should just do it based on the time that you're gonna work on. There's many like different like options you go for pre-workout, maybe an energy drink, or like even shots of coffee if you want to go for more organic. Yeah. So what do you have there, Alex?
Yeah, what do you have there?
Oh yeah, yeah. So we're just talking about working out, and I feel like if anybody's starting this lifestyle and working out, these are both amazing, supplements to try out when starting out. The collagen and the protein. They're not. Again, we're looking at the ingredients, and I can just tell you, again, 25 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar. It's real matcha. This is what you want.
And this stuff is gas. This
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
for my boba lovers out there. This is for you guys. This is boba tea, but in protein form. You gotta mix it a little bit more or a little heavier just to get it all dissolved. But this stuff, it's a really good alternative for you boba lovers out there. And you can make this. The tapioca pearls come separate from this, but this is your main flavor sourcing, and I would recommend this for everyone. I would recommend having probably 50% water, 50% milk, and then throwing this in there. It's a great combo for those boba lovers
Yeah.
out there.
And I can tell you for this one, this is perfect. We were just talking about coffee. So you can easily just put this in your coffee or smoothie. And then again, we all have those cravings, and you can still implement this in your pancakes, oatmeal, or even cookies.
Yeah,
Or
and I
any-
think it's better. I think it's good for those who struggle with hitting their protein intake
Yeah.
daily, because that's the main purpose of protein powders and supplements like this. At the end of the day, it's catered towards those who aren't able to hit their protein needs just by the meals that they're eating. Hence why it's called a supplement.
Yeah, and this is non-GMO. We were hinting on that before.
Yeah,
but
all the-
it's much more important than you really think it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
All right, and then we can put these aside,
yeah.
and then we'll answer these last couple questions before we wrap up. The next one is, why is it bad to dirty bulk?
Oh, Michael.
Well, there's always bulking and there's clean and dirty bulking. Dirty bulking, you might, especially if you're like a person that's lower weight, you want to just get as many calories in, like clean or dirty. You're just gonna eat everything you see in sight. And then clean bulking, you still want to keep like that good energy level, but like slowly progress up in weight. Me, I did dirty bulking, and I can obviously see the side effects. So,
Yeah, I've also done dirty bulking as at the start when I was lifting first. The main thing I noticed was that I was feeling super lethargic and tired. Although I was getting bigger, although my lifts were going up, I was really starting to notice that everyday activities were getting harder. Walking up the steps was a bit harder, which is kind of embarrassing to say.
yeah, so we opt
But
out for the
it-
elevator.
Yeah, it's the truth. It really, when you're getting at that higher body fat percentage, you're not at optimal health. And mass gaining is a very tricky subject because, of course, you want to make some strength gains, but also you really don't want to compromise with your the fat that you're putting on, because excess fat is really not the way to go.
Yeah, I met you during my dirty bulk, and I can tell you I'm in a much happier place now than I was back then.
Yeah, you look
Yeah.
better, you feel better, you can
Yeah.
move more. That's the one thing. You can move more and you can move better. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's I would not recommend. So 0 out of 10 for me for
Yeah,
dirty bulk.
I purposely avoided him for a reason back then.
Yeah, we'll be fighting for food probably.
all right, and the last and final question before we wrap up is, it's still on the topic of cutting and bulking. Is it better to maintain a weight instead of fluctuating with cutting and bulking? Um, I can talk about this one because I've made the mistake of doing this. I think it's better to, maintain and eat as your body needs.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing for the past um, 6 to 8 months, and before that, I was going through cutting and bulking phases. I would notice a lot of crashes in energy, especially when I was cutting. Um, I felt so bad. I wasn't getting good pumps in the gym. I wasn't uh, feeling like I could push through those last reps or whatever. When I was now that I'm maintaining my weight and going based off how I'm feeling, how hungry I am, I've noticed that um, my progress is gradual. But if you were to plot it on a graph, the trend line would point correlating upwards. I would say for the cutting and bulking, my energy levels as well as my strength levels were very up and down. There was too much fluctuation, and I think when you're going to extreme ends, it really puts your body off balance, and it just doesn't work, and it didn't work for me.
Mm.
I think for me, maintaining uh, is a lot more manageable and easier. I'd say
Yeah, I agree.
for anyone, because you're solely responsible. Everything you put in, you can say, okay, I ate these French fries. They gotta go on the treadmill. They gotta those calories gotta get out. Uh, Rather than bulking and cutting, because if you go too like with the bulking, you go too far, you're gonna get sad. You're gonna look at yourself like this is not what I wanted, and then you do the cutting, you're gonna be like, oh, I need to get lower and lower and lower, and then you're gonna binge again. And it's if you find that right balance, the maintaining, and you find that perfect weight to stay at, or that range, I wouldn't say just one singular weight. Um, I think it's a much more manageable way to live that healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, because you're crashing and binging, crash dieting, binging, crash dieting, binging, and I think people even develop food eating disorders
Yeah,
from that as
disorders,
well.
yeah.
Um, Paddy Pimblett, I know, is one. He's a UFC fighter that blows up
Yeah.
a lot after his weight cuts.
Yeah, but he gets it done though.
Yeah, he gets it done, but I'm telling you, he's gonna. Unfortunately, I don't pray this on anyone, but unfortunately, he might see some of the more negative effects
Yeah,
later
Yeah.
a
down the
lot
road.
of implications.
Yeah.
due to that.
Yeah.
Gained like 42 pounds after his fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's insane numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah. With that being said, I think we covered a lot today as far as diet. You guys got to know what we think is important, how we go about structuring our meals, and stay tuned for the new challenges we have coming up. We're gonna be developing them and sharing our experiences on the next coming episodes. And yeah, thank you guys for donating. We really appreciate it. And please spread the word about this podcast. Just get it out to anyone you know so we can reach as many people as possible. And yeah, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Michael, again. And yeah, this is Figuring Out Friday. We will see you.